there and get it.
Vermin Supreme. He's just come from Olean, New York, where he did a little haunted house exploration. And, you know, being that he is actually seeking the libertarian line, and we were having a meeting, and just things worked out. Here he is.
Hello, friends.
Hi.
Thank you for allowing me to interrupt your meeting momentarily. As Chris says, I'm just passing by from a campaign event in Olean, which was very nice and very spooky. We're in a haunted house. And it is true, it is a fact that I am indeed seeking the Libertarian Party nomination. It is true that I'm generally recognized as a well-respected political satirist, if you will. So there is that. I'm generally known for being the gentleman with the rubber boot on his head, running this fanciful, fantastical campaign. But I believe that in real life I have something to offer the party as a candidate. And of course I have three ponies, of course. I have a character that I've developed. I have a universe of things that I bring to the table, and quite a fan base and name recognition. And I believe that these are things that I can bring to the table if the Libertarian Party decides that they're willing to take this particular route, this particular strategy of utilizing myself and this universe that I've developed to troll America, if you will, to have a lot of fun with the election, to point out that the duopoly electoral system is broken and that it is a joke. And I believe that a lot of concerns have to do with the framing. Can a serious party put up a joke candidate and get away with it? And I believe that yes, that this is possible. It is in the framing. It is simply a matter of saying, yes, we are the Libertarian Party. We're a serious party. We have a lot of serious things that we do. These are our platform. However, the duopoly and the electoral system has become a little bit of a joke, and ha ha ha, here's Vermin Supreme. And I believe that that could work, and I believe it would be a different route to take. It would be certainly a new type of strategy, but I believe that out of the current crop of presidential candidates seeking the nomination of the Libertarian Party, that quite frankly, the bubble in which I exist and my campaign staff and all, believe that out of the batch, I have the most possibility, the likelihood.
But that's only because his bar thinks that's so
Well, that's
low.
true. That's true.
Also the coolest
But for where I stand, 5% is the gold stand for a Libertarian Party presidential candidate. That is what will achieve the ballot access nationwide. And I do the quick figures that there are 3.9 million high school students that graduate a year. Give me 2 of those years, that's 8 million. Add that to the 17 million college students a year, and that gives me a pool of about 24 million. And if I were to get 1 out of 4 of those voters to vote for me, that would be the 5% for the party. Not to mention the 40 million voters that did not vote, not to mention the many fickle voters that voted for Trump for the lulz that might likely vote for me for the lulz. So the case that I am presenting is that it is simply, it's not inconceivable that I would be a very good candidate, and that's the presentation that I am making. And I am indeed seeking delegates, of course, and hopefully I will be on the debate stage. That's my #1 goal, and I believe that I can help make that go viral by presenting a combination of my wacky,
gold glitter,
my patented wacky rants and raves. But yes, I've also agreed to make the Libertarian Party platform my own, because if I am to front a national party, then it is only right and fair that I present that party's platform, because that is what the definition of a party is. It's what they believe in. And of course, the reason that I am able to work so well with the Libertarian Party is because our core principles, they dovetail very nicely. I am anti-state, I am anti-war, I am anti-authority, I don't believe in police brutality, I believe in the right of the people to have abortions. Pretty much a good solid 70-80% of the platform I am down with. And for most people, except for the purists, that's generally considered enough to be a Libertarian candidate, and that's what I'm doing. So if anybody has any questions, briefly, I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. Yes.
Mr. Supreme.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Supreme.
Well, no, please, that's my father.
Well, I'm actually a journalist, and I cover a lot of politics for everything in central New York.
Yes, sir.
And so it's a wonderful opportunity to have a chance to speak with you, a presidential candidate. You are the only one who's ever had a boot on his head that's spoken.
simple,
But-
elegant, effective.
Yeah, it catches
Allowed me
the.
to amplify my voice a million times.
Well, it definitely catches the attention, no doubt. Let me ask a serious question. You just mentioned abortion.
Yes, sir.
It's a very hot button issue
Yes,
across
sir.
the nation.
Yes, it is.
New York has passed under Governor Cuomo, the single party Democratic leadership, abortion up to the moment of birth.
Yes.
In many states, there is the idea of abortion post-birth.
I don't believe that's the real thing.
This is what they've stated.
I believe the opposition has perhaps stated that in order to give that impression.
Governor Northam's words himself. But that being said,
Okay, that being said.
where do you stand?
Once again, I simply support the Libertarian Party platform and believe that people should have access to a medical procedure that is perfectly safe and legal. And there should be nothing put in the way between a medical health care provider and their patient. I believe that the government has no business stepping in to interfere with a woman's medical decisions. And that's where I stand on that issue. Thank you.
Fair.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
At what point do you think that that child is part of the decision?
Once again, of course, I am an individual. I'm a human being, and I don't believe that I have that my opinion is germane to that particular decision. As a person, I believe that ultimately that is the decision between a physician and a woman.
Not the father.
I
I mean, if hypothetically speaking, my wife gets pregnant and we have pick out a name after 3 months, and after 5 months everything's going great, and then my wife says, you know, I'm putting on a lot of weight, I think I'm going to whack this kid. Is that okay?
I would say,
'Cause that's what you're saying.
until the technology exists that can easily transfer a fetus from a woman to her husband, then yes, I have to.
That's what I'm saying.
One other question.
That's where I stand.
But would you make that a state regulation? To me, I can understand why these buttons are hot button issues, and that's because people have very different personal feelings on these things. But really what it comes down to is not your feeling or my feeling, your feeling, but is the state in charge or is the individual in charge? Because if you look at it that way, it's like, I may be totally opposed to abortion, but I don't want the state to make the decision for anybody. I'm just picking that as a hypothetical example. Or I may hate guns, but I don't want the state to take them out of people's hands. You know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
That's
where the military
the
platform
decision
clearly
comes down
states
to, is it a personal thing or is it, how do you feel philosophically? You know, because philosophically, we don't necessarily, we don't legislate how our feelings.
The notion of the artificial womb, as you put forth, is really not that far-fetched because technology is actually working towards that right now. It is something that may possibly be presented to us in the future.
Again, what I'm getting
Again,
at,
to play
all
devil's
good
advocate.
libertarians, good-hearted people, just generally good-hearted people. They don't see anybody homeless or hungry or poor or hurting, right? And so there's that nature, the people's good nature, whatever party you are. But libertarians going to recognize that good instinct can be used again. Okay, now let's take the money from everybody and give it to the poor, and now everybody's poor. So it's like people that use their own best instincts are used to cut their own throats. You know, to help the immigrants, all right. And so you get the people in Ithaca trying to bring the immigrants in, right? But there's people lying in the doorways in New York. Why aren't we helping them? You know, it's because we've been told where to focus rather than focusing on human issues.
Shiny objects.
Yeah.
Wanted to switch
Well,
Okay.
real quick. One last.
all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to ask one question.
Go
to
ahead.
that.
Yes,
So as a woman
Yes.
who is low income,
Yes.
raised 3 kids in severe poverty,
Yes.
I had my girls when I was 17 and 19. I wanted to get my tubes tied and the state would not pay for it. I'm allergic to the pill. 12 years ago, 12, almost 13 years ago, I got pregnant with my son. Not planned. I was trying to leave a bad marriage. I myself am against abortion because I can't see myself killing my own child for my own comfort. But the state's saying that we will help other people pay for that, but you won't pay for a low-income parent to not have to worry about getting pregnant to begin with. There's a big issue with that.
Yes, there is. And I believe it's an issue of fairness, and I believe it's an issue of the resource distribution.
Yes,
Obviously,
and yeah, you can give away the pill, but that requires a woman to be able to stay on a schedule. If she goes off of it, she can get pregnant. And I'm really sick of people saying that because you're poor, that you don't deserve to live. I grew up poor. My kids grew up poor. My kids are in college, working managing jobs. My son, he's top of the line in his class, engineering and everything. Just because you're poor does not mean that your life is condemned to be bad. And we really need to break that stigma of that as well.
I certainly agree with that. I certainly do. And I believe that ultimately less government will give us more freedom, and that the free market will provide.
Yes, but I don't think that if the state won't pay for one, then it shouldn't pay for the other.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. There should be no state. Yes, sir.
Vern, on a different topic.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for changing the topic. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, it's a very, like I said, it's a hot button issue.
Yes,
No,
of
people
course,
have.
and ultimately, you know, the campaign that I'm offering is primarily one of full-on satire and humor, and how do I integrate the humor into things that are not humor?
John,
It's a little tricky.
that's your wallet. Is that your
Your
wallet?
wallet. Yes. Sorry. Someone lost their wallet. But no, that's part of.
Yes.
This may be something.
As a serious, I'm seriously seeking the nomination, so yes, I must address all of these issues in a serious fashion, but I also try and find the humor in them to illustrate that, if I can.
Well, this may be a little more of interest for you. We have $22 trillion in debt. We have an interest rates that are going up, which is accelerating the amount of debt that we have in the nation. We have two parties who have promised continuously for several decades to cut the deficit. Yet we've seen it increase under every party and every president. Going forward, what is the libertarian point of view? What is your point of view
yes. Okay, well,
on
much better.
getting rid of that?
Yeah, you'll get better with that.
Yes, thank you.
So hard to make a joke out of a
Gotta have a serious one and not so. Okay.
Well, naturally,
Little above.
I've been a very strong proponent of a pony-based economy, of switching over, getting every American a free pony in order to stimulate the economy, create lots and lots and lots and lots of jobs, and create a level playing field where each and every American has their very own pony, zero unemployment, of course, because everybody will be drafted into the Conservation Pony Poo Collection Corps of America. The trade systems will go through the roof. Blacksmithing is going to be an amazing industry. The all but extinct buggy whip maker will come back with a vengeance.
Wasn't
Now,
there something about toothbrushing too?
that too. The thing to understand about a pony-based economy is that once everybody has their pony, then we have equity in the ponies that we own. Once we have equity in the ponies that we own, then we can borrow against the pony's equity. And now once we have created a class of pony-based debt, then we can create all sorts of arcane, hard to understand financial instruments, including AAA pony default swap bonds and things of this nature. And essentially what we'll be doing is creating a bubble, a great giant pony bubble in the economy. And as we all know, a bubble is an amazing thing. It means that the economy is firing on all cylinders and everybody's making money, and it's an incredible thing. So let me assure you that this particular pony bubble is going to be reinforced, steel belted, and last forever. Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, thank you. Pony-based economy, and the pony fed, the pony-based, the Pony Federal Reserve will figure it all out. I mean, I have no doubt. So, and of course, the other important thing to keep in mind is that debt is capital. That the essential, the United States is based on debt. Much of business is based on debt. The banking industry is based on debt, and debt, and the people buy and sell debt. So it's a whole thing unto itself, and it can be much like the money itself. It can be created, it can be destroyed, it can be devalued, it can be wiped away with the stroke of a pen or magic legislation. So once you start talking about the debt, you really have to talk about the economy. You have to realize that it's a little imaginary on a lot of levels.
So there'll be fiat ponies? basically.
Yes, I mean, will it be, are our ponies the gold standard? Are they literally the gold standard? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But of course, as a political satirist, most of my solutions are, of course, fanciful and made up. But as a member of the Libertarian Party, I try and present the Libertarian Party platform as it exists. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's that simple, really. That simple. So my campaign, serious and facetious at the same time, and I thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Way to ruin the mood, Mike.
You were just passing through, huh?